They arrived before sunrise. 3 men dressed in dark uniforms, wearing badges that looked polished but somehow off, stood blocking my porch like they owned the place. One of them pointed directly at my 7-year-old daughter. ISA stood there, still clutching her stuffed rabbit, barely awake, when he said, "She's coming with us. Your HOA has issued a safety order." A chill ran straight through me. I stepped in front of my child, shielding her, but the tallest one smirked like this was already over. "Stand down, sir. You have no authority here." For a moment, I almost laughed. If he had any idea what I used to deal with, he wouldn't have dared raise his voice. But I stayed calm, maybe too calm, because ISA tugged my sleeve and whispered, "Daddy, are they real police?" The man leaned closer, and that's when I noticed it. The patch on his uniform was crooked, like it had been glued on. His radio wasn't even switched on, and the truck parked outside had no plates. Something was seriously wrong. Then he reached for ISA's arm. That's when something inside me snapped. Not loud, not chaotic, just a quiet switch flipping after years of training. "Touch her again," I said softly, "and I promise you'll regret waking up today." One of them froze, like my voice carried something he couldn't explain. The leader hesitated, suddenly unsure, and asked, "Who exactly are you?" I didn't answer. I just stared at him, letting the silence do the work my rank once did. That's when it became clear. They weren't real cops, and if someone sent them, it had to be someone close. Someone with a reason to target my daughter. I already had a name. The same neighbor who had been screaming across the yard yesterday, saying people like me didn't belong here. The same woman pretending to run this place, even though she had no real authority. Karen. The leader tried to mask his fear by pulling out a folded piece of paper and waving it in my face. "This is an official HOA child safety removal notice." The paper fluttered in the wind like a cheap flyer. No seal, no signature, just Karen's messy handwriting at the bottom. ISA clung to my leg now, quiet but frightened, and that hurt more than anything. She was gentle, the kind of kid who apologized even when she'd done nothing wrong. And these men thought they could walk into her morning and take her like she was property. I asked one simple question. "Who sent you?" The leader opened his mouth, but before he could speak, his radio crackled. Except it wasn't a real crackle. It buzzed weakly, like a toy with dying batteries. The men behind him shifted uneasily. One of them whispered, "This wasn't part of the deal." Deal. That word hit hard. So they weren't even pretending anymore. They were hired, paid, sent. And Karen was the only one reckless enough to do something like this. The leader straightened himself, trying to recover. "Look, sir, if you cooperate, this ends smoothly." I stepped forward slowly, giving him time to rethink every decision he'd made that morning. "You picked the wrong house," I said. His eyes flicked to the scars on my forearm, the stance I'd slipped into without thinking, my steady breathing. Something clicked in his mind. "You're military," he whispered. I didn't confirm it. I didn't need to. His expression changed. He wasn't worried about the job anymore. He was worried about getting out alive. He motioned for his men to step back. But before they could, a gray SUV pulled up fast and stopped near my mailbox. The door flew open, and Karen stepped out, wearing a smug smile like she was about to watch a show she'd paid for. "Is he resisting?" she shouted. "Good. Record everything." A cold feeling ran through me. Not fear, something worse. Because now it wasn't just fake cops and a forged notice. Karen didn't just want trouble. She wanted a spectacle. She wanted it to end with my daughter taken, and me humiliated in front of the entire neighborhood. But she had no idea who she was provoking. Karen marched toward us like she was stepping onto a stage, her phone already recording, her hair bouncing with every furious step. "You're done here," she announced loudly, as if everyone was watching. "He's an unfit parent. He yelled at me yesterday. My HOA authority allows immediate child protection intervention." The fake cops nodded like trained parrots, but even they looked uncertain now. They could feel the shift in the air. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't move suddenly. I simply placed my hand on ISA's shoulder and gently pulled her behind me. Karen pointed her phone straight at my face. "Smile," she said. "This will be used as evidence." I ignored her and looked at the leader again. Who paid you? This time he cracked. Sweat formed on his forehead, and he glanced at Karen like he already regretted everything. We were told this was a custody check. Karen snapped immediately. No talking, do your job, or you don't get the rest of the money. Money. The word echoed in the quiet morning. ISA heard it too. Daddy, why is she trying to take me? She whispered. Her voice shook, and something old and dangerous stirred inside me. Karen turned to ISA with a fake, sugary tone. Sweetie, don't be scared. I'm taking you somewhere safe, away from your unstable father. My jaw tightened. Unstable. She had no idea what discipline or control really meant. She lived in a bubble of rules she invented, pretending she had power over everyone. Step aside, she ordered the men. But they didn't move. Even they knew they'd cross a line no paycheck was worth. That's when Karen tried to push past me and grab ISA herself. Her fingers were inches away when I caught her wrist midair. I didn't squeeze, but she felt the strength in that simple grip. She froze, eyes wide, finally realizing she had touched something she shouldn't. Let go of me, she hissed. That's assault. I released her slowly and leaned closer, lowering my voice so only she could hear. You send hired men to my house. I whispered. You try to take my daughter, and you think that's assault? She stumbled back, more shaken than angry. Fine, she shouted. If you won't cooperate, my guys will take her by force. She looked at them again, but this time no one moved, not a single step. The leader shook his head. Lady, we're not doing this. Not with him here. Karen's face twisted with rage. He's just a dad, she yelled. The leader looked at me again, his voice quieter now. No, he said. He's something else. Before Karen could respond, something none of them expected happened. A black SUV pulled up at the end of the street. Government plates. The moment I saw it, I knew. And the moment that door opened, everything for those fake cops, and for Karen, was about to get a lot worse.